Yeah, I just didn't. I was gonna do it. I just didn't want to do it right away. But
Oh, we're having that serve for the game start.
yeah.
had the stat up there about Barry Barnes in his 7th season, and his record just over 500 in his 7 seasons in the graphic that we had about Barry Barnes. But we included one other thing in the statistic there, and that is the conference record since Barry Barnes has taken over, and that's in parentheses there, 44-24, and I think that says a lot about Barry Barnes, the teacher, and the way that he is consistently able to take teams early in the season, but then teach his system, get them to understand what he's trying to do, and they always seem to be playing better as the season goes on.
I've had the privilege to talk with Coach Barnes many times about his scheduling, and he schedules tough early on. That's one of the reasons why you'll see that mark dip in the regular season before conference play. When you see that mark, you know, record-wise, they might not always be there, but when they get into conference, they are primed and ready because they've gone up against top-tier competition. I can't remember when they weren't in the Saddleback tournament. Saddleback always so good. Coach Andy Brown does a great job down there.
Are you listening to that Iowa University football program? 66-57. I shouldn't pick on Iowa. Hardly the only school that goes that route of I think trying to schedule games to keep themselves unbeaten if they can.
You of the Big Ten.
Yeah, I had to go with
fandom.
I had to go with what I knew.
Yeah. Schedule somebody's tough out of conference. It's a little different, Jeff. You know, when you talk about you know, strength of schedule with football as compared to basketball.
Yeah, they figure they get enough tough competition in the Big Ten, I guess. Meanwhile, for Long Beach, looking ahead, they'll be back in action February 5th. So they'll be back in action Friday. They'll be at LA Southwest.
And these two teams meet again, Jeff. Can you give me the date on that?
Yes, I can. Meanwhile, after the missed free throw, Gear quickly back the other way. Baseline jumper from Merriweather is good. 66-59. We'll have another timeout taken as we get you ready for Cerritos' next game as well. They'll be back in action on Friday as well.
30-second timeout. They just want to set up the press here, and that's exactly why Coach Russ may call the timeout for Cerritos.
So there, I checked that. Cerritos has a bye on Friday, so they are back in action next week on February 10th. They will also be taking on LA Southwest. So LA Southwest going to run the gamut here at the top, taking on Long Beach and then Cerritos over the next week. As for the next meeting between these two teams, it will be February 19th, and that will be at Cerritos.
Hope to have coverage for that game. Obviously, some storylines,
and that will be
that game.
Regular season finale. So the free throw is up and good for Malone, and Malone, again, a little bit of drama left here, chasing a season high.
Yeah, as of now
has 18.
As of now, I believe that's scheduled to be the Coaches versus Cancer Classic.
2 free throws good for Malone. Back to a 9-point lead. Baseline drive by Payne. The teardrop won't go. Tip no good. Gear with the follow. 7-point game again. Malone fouled in the backcourt by Brown. 34.9 remaining.
Well, how about a credit to the security staff on hand, and you know, really the administration here, Randy Tutorp and company, and the coaches, and really doing a good job of settling down the situation that could have just turned out to be really ugly. That had shades of, you know, Malice at the Palace.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Ron Artest going bonkers in Detroit. But you know, just hats off. Nice,
absolutely.
Nice job settling things down and able to finish this game out instead of just canceling the game, because I'm sure that was part of the conversation.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Malone misses both free throws again. Still an 8-point game. Payne finds Washington, and he hits the triple. 5-point game, and Camper is fouled.
It's Camper from the line, Jeff.
What is it, 10 of 15 or 11 of 16?
Game ain't over yet.
Well,
can you imagine if this went overtime?
Certainly not the way that Long Beach has had their struggles from the line. He's 11 of 16, so.
Yeah, pretty close.
Unfortunately, he was the one that they had to foul. didn't have the luxury of seeking out someone to foul, but he misses the first free throw. How about Camper now? That's 3 in a row.
Well, don't tune out yet here, folks.
Another missed free throw, still a 5-point game. Brown jets into the front court. 3-pointer on the way, good!
Wow!
Moments ago, this was a 10-point game. Now it's 2. 19.8 remaining.
Story, this is what happens when you don't hit your free throws. And that's exactly what Coach Barry Barnes is mouthing to himself. Hey, you can't win games down the stretch like this if you don't hit free throws. Talking to his team right now, you got to hit your free throws down the stretch and put away teams. 19 seconds to go. It's a 2-point game.
It had been a struggle, and the first free throw from Camper is good. It had been a struggle from long range all night, but what a time to hit a couple.
Wow.
And you have to make the point again, surprisingly, it's not Payne who's been the best shooter from long range.
It's Gear.
Gear hitting the big one after Washington. So Camper with one more coming. This is his 20th free throw of the night. No good. Gear has the rebound. A chance to tie. Brown into the front court. Looking for Gear. Payne for 3. Good! 3 threes in a row. 9.7 remaining. Camper will bring it into the front court. It's a tie game.
Wow!
5 seconds. Camper starts a drive. Double team comes. Shot blocked. We're going to overtime.
Can you believe it?
Unbelievable.
Spread the word, everybody. www.socalcollegesports.com. 3 ejections from Cerritos. And they force overtime here from the Hall of Champions. Stay tuned, everybody. What do we know?
Yeah, Mike, I got to ask the question that's on everybody's mind. Where did that come from? 3 threes in the final minute.
I want to say
helped out by some missed free throws. Long Beach 1 of 6 from the line down the stretch and 3 threes, and we're heading to overtime. It's unbelievable. 5 more minutes of action here, tied at 70.
Incredible, just an incredible display down the stretch of shooting the basketball from Cerritos, and they force OT and they win the tip.
The Vikings have to be shell-shocked at this point. Nonetheless, they will have to go back to work. Brown drives it left of the lane, off the glass, no good. Camper snaps down the board. Camper going to bring it up himself as Gear shows full court pressure. Camper working left. Merriweather comes over to double, steps through the double team, off the glass and good.
Incredible individual move there from Camper.
How about the purpose from Camper? Snaps down the board, then finishes it off.
Up and under move, good.
Washington up top. Payne, who hit the big 3 to tie the game. Gear, skip pass. Malone got a hand in and knocked it away.
Nice active hands there from Malone. Just have your hands up. Just be active. We see it right there. A lot of times players with their hands down fall asleep on defense.
Brown around a screen from Merriweather. Payne from 28 feet. That's good.
Is that their first lead tonight, Jeff?
I think they led briefly in the first half. I want to say like 23-22, something like that, but I could be wrong.
First lead since halftime, that's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Payne starting to feel it. That one came from L.A.
Yeah, that one was from Steph Curry range. He had 51 earlier.
Camper working left into the lane. Washington on the double. Too late. Camper lays it in.
Good luck stopping that guy right now. All your bigs out of the ball game.
All 4 points in overtime for Camper. Back to a 1-point lead.
Don't give him room.
Payne stops and pops from 15. That's off the front iron. Gear with the glass, follows it in.
Gets away with a bit of a push-off over the back on Camper. The lead back to Cerritos. Seesaw battle here in OT from the Hall of Champions.
Man, oh man, who would have thought?
Wow.
3:25 and counting remaining in overtime. Camper has both baskets so far, and he faces up on Gear. Gives it up to Parasol. Shot clock at 13. Parasol with the hard drive, foul called. It's going to go on Merriweather.
Yeah, good things happen when you go to the basket and you attack with purpose. We see it right there. Parasol going to be rewarded again with 2 free throws. A text from JT, who I gave a shout out to earlier. Really? 3 threes at the end of the ball game? He said it a little bit more colorfully than that.
Parasol's free throw is good. I can answer that question. Yes, really.
We were here.
And the fans have been admonished to stay in their seats, but it's getting more challenging to stay in your seats right now with this ball game. A different problem altogether. Meanwhile, Parasol able to knock down a couple of free throws, and Coach Barry Barnes on the sidelines must be thinking, where was that in the final minute?
All we needed was 1.
Payne around the screen, drives it to the glass. The runner is good, but they're going to say the foul came before the shot.
2 shots coming. Both teams in the double penalty. Double bonus, however you want to look at it.
So Payne arriving a little late for the party. Just getting into it in the final minute with a couple of threes.
Be the equivalent of Squirrel Man showing up right now.
Hits the first free throw. He now has 10 points in the game. He's squarely into it now. Back to a tie ball game with 3:01 remaining in overtime.
What a game.
And Payne drains the second free throw. And the Falcons will not go away. They're back up 1. Parasol into the front court. Merriweather on him. Malone. Checked by Washington. Camper trying to establish position at the elbow. He's got it. Faces up top of the key. Camper going to back off. Now he'll start in on Gear. Hard drive. Puts it up with the right hand. Won't go, but a foul call.
4th foul called on Gear.
And Gear picking up the foul there, and Camper doing a great job using that wide body. Wide through the shoulders. Gives himself a little room, draws the contact. 20 free throw attempts on the night. Here comes number 21. And it's good.
Nothing but net.
Back to a tie game. 77 all, 2:35 remaining in overtime.
Are you sniffing 2 overtimes here? I just want to go to Denny's.
Yeah, we haven't had dinner. All right, though, overtime. Overtime is one of the only things we accept as a holding off dinner. 78-77. The Vikings back out in front. Brown starts a drive. Richard picks up the foul. It's a blocking foul. Brown heading to the line.
Man, how about Brown's ability to finish after contact? He made that, but it's going to be waved off. Not going to be issued in the act of shooting, although a case could have been made.
Yeah, give him the continuation.
To shoot on the free throws on the season here, Jeffrey.
So Brown, perfect so far tonight, and he comes in shooting 62%, but I'll tell you.
That's a lie.
His stroke looks a little better than that to me.
Ties it up at 78-0.
A perfect 8 of 8 on the night. Second free throw on the way, and that's good. I'll tell you, that's the best looking 62% stroke I've ever seen.
That's a fact right there. Just give it a Camper.
79-78, back and forth. And now it's the Falcons out in front by 1.
It's a matchup 3-2 zone. This is to protect against foul trouble inside. Camper having a field day. Good
Malone
defense.
Tries to swing it back out, and it's stolen by Payne. Payne's 1 on 3. To the glass. Scoop shot won't go, but a foul call. Well, Payne went right after Camper, and Camper picked up the foul. And now the Falcons, who a few minutes ago had multiple nails in the coffin.
Yeah, so much for that. They took out the nails with missed free throws.
Misses the first free throw, so Payne with one more coming. Trying to give the Falcons what I believe would be their largest lead of the night, 2 points. And he's got it. Check that. They did lead early 5-0, so the Falcons did have a larger lead at one point, but they trailed throughout the second half. A furious comeback in the final minute of regulation, forced overtime, and now they lead it by 2. Meanwhile, as they inbound the ball, the clock is still running, down to 1:54. And they'll stop it there. Now Malone will bring it in. It's been all Camper here in overtime for Long Beach. We'll see if he can continue to deliver. They stay in the zone. Long three for Richard. That's good!
Wow! Timeout, Long Beach. This will be a full
81-80. Long Beach back out in front. 1:42 remaining in overtime.
Unreal.
It's a South Coast Conference Classic here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Text it out, everybody. www.SoCalCollegeSports.com. We have a beauty here in overtime. 81-80. Long Beach City College couldn't close it out in regulation, missing multiple free throws down the stretch. 3 threes in the final minute for Cerritos College. They end up tying it, forcing overtime. It's been back and forth here in the extra frame here, Jeffrey.
Yeah, heroics left and right here on both sides. Culminating with the big shot there by Richard. His third three of the game. And the Vikings back out in front by 1. I think the worst news for the Falcons here in overtime is due to the fact that the game's either tied or a 1-point game. They can't foul. Simply put the Vikings on the line.
Camper with 31 tonight. Huge ball game here for Chris Camper.
19 for Ahmad Malone. Meanwhile, 3 Falcons in double digits. Brown off to Washington. Washington hit a big 3 in the final minute to start the furious rally. Payne off to Brown. He'll take the 3, rimming no good. Richard flies in for the board, but he can't hold on, so it'll go back to Cerritos.
Scrum for the basketball. It's a good job there by Gear, keeping the ball alive and forcing that off of Richard.
Brown will bring it in. Payne quickly double team, hooks a pass to Merriweather. They'll swing it around. Gear on the far side. Shot clock down to 20. Payne again from 28 feet. That's good.
You can't give it to him. That's just, you can't fall asleep on defense like that.
Payne with 3 threes here in the last 5 minutes.
Get it to Camper right now.
Under a minute to go, the Vikings trail it by 2. Camper working in the high post, but they can't get the ball to him. That's tipped out of play by Payne.
Malone, poor fundamentals there. He's just telegraphing the pass. Good job by Payne getting his hand in the lane. Tapping it out of bounds. 22 left on the shot clock for Long Beach City. They trail it by 2.
Camper was going to bring it in, but it will be Pearsall who will bring it in on the near side for the Vikings. Let's see if they get it to Camper up top. And indeed, Camper between the circles. Quick drive on Brown. Finds Pearsall. He fakes the 3 and he double dribbled.
Travel, double dribble, call it what you will. It's a turnover.
So 48.5 remaining in overtime. The Falcons up 2. And Michael, the Vikings need a stop.
Cerritos looking for the dagger right here.
Payne works around a Merriweather screen, gives it up to Brown. Brown between the circles, off to Washington. The shot clock at 11. Washington to Payne in the weave.
He's going to fire it.
Picked up by Richard. Might have pushed off,
Oh,
but it's a
wow.
blocking call on Richard.
Wow!
Barry Barnes is livid on the sidelines, and Michael, I think he's right.
I know he's right. Let's look at the play. It's an obvious push off here from Payne. He extends it there, doesn't make contact, extends it again, and gets a blocking call on the road in overtime.
That is a head scratcher. Payne, meanwhile, settles himself at the line and hits the first free throw.
Wow.
One more free throw here, and it's a two-possession game with 24 seconds remaining. Meanwhile, take nothing away from Payne. He has been dynamite starting in the last minute of regulation. 3 threes, now a couple of free throws. And it's a 4-point lead for Cerritos with 24.1 remaining. What do you make of it?
I don't know. I wish I had the dynamite clip from what show was that?
I believe it's Good Times.
I think you're right. That's what we need right now. Wow. 24 seconds to go. It's a 4-point lead for Cerritos. I can't believe it.
It was 68-59. So 26-13 in the last about 5.5 minutes. I mean, they led bigger than that, but with about a minute to go, I want to say it was a 9-point lead when that run started that got them back in the game. That was 3 threes, maybe a couple of free throws, and 1 of 6 for the Vikings down the stretch at the line. And, man, I mean, talk about a perfect storm. It was, I guess they didn't need to pitch the shutout in the final minute, but they did need the miracle. They
needed the one hitter.
and the miracle came in the form of 3 threes. Unbelievable. And then give it to the Falcons. They have been sensational here. And a very pleasant good evening from the aviary on the campus of Cerritos College. Tonight, opening round coverage of the 3C2A men's basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. I am Jeff Stoynoff. So pleased you've joined us for our opening round coverage. It'll be the Cerritos College Falcons getting set to take on the Ventura College Pirates. The immediate story of this opening round matchup is that it involves 2 of perhaps the hottest teams in Southern California in the 3C2A in a play-in game going at it here tonight between the 2 teams. They have combined to win 17 of their last 18 games. The Falcons have won 8 in a row, including a perfect run through their South Coast Conference non-conference schedule. Meanwhile, for Ventura, after losing their first 2 games in conference play, they rebounded to win 9 of 10 in the Western State Conference to earn a share of that conference title with Moorpark College. So 2 teams playing very well, coming together at the right time. But for one of these teams, it's going to be go home in the win or go home scenario here of playoff basketball. Quickly go over the starting 5. For visiting Ventura College, it will be Jalen Wilson, Jamal Lewis in the backcourt with Stephen Bush, Elijah Brown, and Trevor LeCount up front. For the home Cerritos College Falcons, Brian Nebo in the front court along with Kyle Gear and Marquis Scott. And in the backcourt, it'll be Tyler Payne and Luis Medeiros. And we are ready for the opening tip. Opening round coverage of the 3C2A men's basketball tournament. The Falcons win the tap. Payne into the front court. This is Nebo. We last saw Nebo as he hooks a pass too high. Payne on the back cut. Nebo came out red hot in a 24-point victory for the Falcons over Long Beach City College, that coming last Friday. An emphatic win to close out the conference schedule. Bush finds LeCount right of the key. Off to Wilson in the weave. Bush will take the baseline 3, rimming no good. Tapped up, no good. Scott had his hands on the rebound, and now it's saved, but to Payne. Payne looking to run. Finds Medeiros, and he shuffled his feet. It's a travel. So back-to-back turnovers for the Falcons on their first 2 possessions. So the Falcons perhaps coming out a little jittery And this is Elijah Brown. Brown, the leading scorer for the Pirates. In fact, the leading scorer in the Western State North Conference, averaging over 20 a game. And now he starts to go to work. Nebo draws the assignment of guarding Brown. Brown dances to his right. Back up top. Lewis with the turnaround. Partially blocked, perhaps. It's on the baseline. What's the call? It'll stay with Ventura. So just over a minute in. And we still have no score. So happy you've joined us here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Quick entry pass, high arcer from Lewis, misses everything. Medeiros has the rebound. Still looking to get on the scoreboard here. Nebo checked by Brown. It'll be interesting to see to what degree the Falcons want to make Brown work on defense. Nebo fakes the three. Baseline drive, gets help from LeCount, off to Marquise Scott. Shoots the leaner, won't go. Quick rebound to Bush. Brown in transition. Bush gets it back, fakes the three, now fires from long range. That missed everything. Looked like Bush might have lost the handle on the way up. Meanwhile, it's saved by Ventura. So a whistle comes in. Looked like Bush never quite had the handle on that three. If you're looking for one matchup in particular between these two teams, look no further than the three-point line for the Ventura College Pirates. The Pirates shot and made the 10th most three-pointers in all of California in the regular season. They rely on the three-point shot. Meanwhile, the Falcons defend the three-point line as well as anybody, limiting opponents to 30% shooting from long range. So one can be relatively sure that the winner of that battle has a big leg up toward winning this game. Lewis to the line. He'll attempt the free throw. Rims out. And, of course, we've talked about this is our second trip to the aviary. And, of course, going back to last year, we had coverage of the finals. The difference between the two rims is notable. And the Pirates working on the rim that historically has been a little bit tighter. Meanwhile, 1 out of 2 for Lewis. And the Pirates are on the board with a 1-0 lead. Medeiros off to Nebo, around to Scott, screen, thought about the three and passes. Nebo now will fire, top of the key, rimming no good. Wilson high up for the board, and the Falcons have come out decidedly cold. Let's see if they settle down here as we move forward. 17:48 remaining here in the opening half. We're just underway. Wilson, he leads the Pirates in assists on the season, up at 4.3. Around a LeCount screen. And a miscommunication with Jamal Lewis, who was moving to his left. Another turnover. This is the second meeting of the season between the two teams. They met back on November 19th at Irvine Valley on a neutral court, and Cerritos won that game 66-58, though the Pirates led by as many as 15 in the first half in that game. But the Falcons gradually wore them down, coming back to win by 8 by virtue of a strong second half. Entry pass, shot up by Okafor, no good. Again, the Pirates looking to run. Brown quickly double-teamed. Finds the open man, Bush. 4-3, in and out. Rebound fought for, controlled by Medeiros. Medeiros jets into the front court, finds Payne. And Payne is bumped, and a foul will be called as he lost it out of bounds. See if they get Wilson on a foul there. No, they're just going to say that one's out of bounds, I believe. Have our first substitution, Cordell Hankerson, coming in for Ventura. Watson on for Cerritos. Jamal Watson. Medeiros has it between the circles. Hard drive, the layup is up and good. Nebo's on the board, and so are the Falcons. Brown dances on the dribble into a triple team, and he forces a pass outside. It's out of play, but a whistle and a foul called. So obviously, not surprising that there is preoccupation with Elijah Brown. And it's Brown who will send it up top. Hankerson, far side to Lewis. Lewis holding on Okafor. Starts a drive.
Finds Hankerson. His three is good. That's got to be a welcome sight for Cordell Hankerson. If you go back to the meeting on November 19th, Hankerson 0 for 6 from long range, as Ventura in the game shot 6 for 37 from long range in a game they lost by 8. So no doubt the Pirates come in here feeling like if they can shoot even a little bit better, this becomes a very winnable ball game. Jump stop for Medeiros, softly off the glass, and it's good. So the two teams start to warm up offensively. We're back to a tie game, 15:53 and counting remaining in the opening half. We're just underway from the Aviary on the campus of Cerritos College. Opening round action. Brown fires from 3, in and out. Rebound on the floor. Okafor has it. It's a 3-on-3. Okafor drives all the way to the glass, and he lays it in. A good little hesitation from Okafor. Looked like he wanted to slow that up, but then nobody picked him up, and he goes in for the finish. Long three from Hankerson. That one no good. Let's correct that. That was Kyle Gear. This is Watson down low, gathers himself, and he lays it in. .6-0 run for Cerritos. Nebo on Brown. Brown drives at baseline. Outside Lewis. Wilson cranks up a 3. That's in and out. Medeiros with the board. And the Falcons brimming with confidence, coming in, having won 8 in a row. And now starting to feel it here with a 4-point lead. Medeiros back iron, no good. Nebo with the long rebound. Flicks a pass down low. Gear's shot is blocked. Transition opportunity, maybe a little push off by Hankerson. No call. His runner's no good, but LeCount has the offensive board, and the pass out of bounds off of Hankerson. So a turnover by Cerritos, or I should say by Ventura. And the Pirates perhaps a little out of sorts. And the Falcons taking advantage. Meanwhile, Jay Merriweather checks in. Merriweather coming off the bench down the stretch here. And Merriweather is an outstanding case for how this Falcon team has really come together as this season has gone on. Talk about a guy in Jay Merriweather. Here's a guy who started 16 games as a freshman last season for Cerritos, but now accepts his role, comes off the bench, and continues to make a contribution. Washington with the fadeaway, and he scores. Khalid Washington off the bench and immediately hits. The run is now 8 straight for Cerritos. But Coach Russ May talked about how this team has come together. Brown splitting a double team, has his shot blocked. Out to Hankerson. Baseline Jay, that's good. Well, Hankerson keeping the Pirates alive single-handedly. He has 5 of the 6 Ventura points. But Cerritos continues to lead it by 4. That breaks an 8-0 run. Payne dances, fires from the right elbow, too strong. Rebound to Wilson. The Pirates will look to run. Wilson into the front court, picked up by Medeiros. Hard drive by Alonso, who's checked in, and he walked. So Alonso slides the pivot foot. That draws the travel call. And with 13:24 remaining in the opening half, the Falcons will get it back. Jonathan Brown is checked in, so Coach Russ May wasting no time going to the bench. And the Falcons have really developed a very deep bench as this season has gone on. Turnaround from Merriweather, high arcer off the glass, no good. Watterson with the rebound for Ventura. So both teams utilizing a long bench early. Wilson with the crossover, tries to drop a pass inside. It's stolen by Medeiros. It's a 2-on-1. Medeiros, a little fake, lays it up, missed it. Watterson clears the board. Hankerson thought about a 3. Swings it cross court. Wilson will try the 3. That's too strong. Watson high up for the board. So Jamal Watson, who ignited this crowd in the victory over Long Beach with a couple of thunderous dunks in the second half, gets the board. Washington with the smooth drive. Khalid Washington, 4 in a row. The Falcons have doubled up Ventura again. It's 12-6. Wilson angles around a Watterson screen. In the air, hooks a pass to Hankerson. He'll try the 3, back iron. Long rebound to Alonso. So the Pirates with a second opportunity here trying to hang around in this one. Brown, who's been quiet, drives, hangs, misses the layup. Rebound to Brown. Brown jets into the front court, puts up the runner, won't go. Rebound to Hankerson. So Brown tried to go coast to coast. And now it's Elijah Brown, and the Pirates will take a timeout. This is going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll step aside briefly, come back to the Aviary. Opening round action, the 3C2A basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And we welcome you back to Cerritos College, SoCalCollegeSports.com's coverage of the 3C2A basketball tournament. Opening round action, Cerritos and Ventura. And we are very pleased to be joined by Terrell Emerson, the sports editor here at Cerritos College. And Terrell, I'd say it's mission accomplished early on for the Falcons. This is a team that comes in very, very confident, and they're off to a good start here.
And I think you hit the nail right on the head earlier by talking about Ventura being a three-point shooting team. Cerritos likes to force their team opponents to shoot outside, so I think they're playing right into Cerritos' hands.
Okafor with the half hook, and that's good. So the Falcons continue to extend on the lead. Watterson finds Lewis, hangs in the air off the glass. Acrobatic finish for Jamal Lewis. Brings the Pirates back within 6.
And I like the fact early going that the referees are allowing the teams to play a little bit. They understand that this is playoff basketball and what this means to both teams.
Yeah, hardly any whistles early on. Nebo can't finish. Brown with the board. Down low, Watterson working in the lane. Puts the shot up. Blocked. The Falcons clear it. Gear with the excellent defense inside. Check that was Okafor. Washington shovels a pass to Merriweather. His layup is blocked. Watterson with another board for Ventura, so back-to-back blocks. Still a 6-point game. Lewis with the finish on the reverse. So Jamal Lewis quickly with 4 in a row. Pirates starting to crawl back into it. They trail it by 4.
If Ventura gets another basket before Cerritos does, look to Russ May to call a timeout.
Washington works around an Okafor screen, has Watterson in the switch. Jump stop right of the lane, the shot good. So Washington picked up by Watterson in the switch, and he immediately takes advantage. And Khalid Washington, 6 points early on here off the bench. A welcome sight for Russ May. Washington had a big game in the conference finisher against Long Beach as well. Elijah Brown still scoreless, and that's news early on. Passes out of a double team. Watterson open for 3, front iron, no good. Rebound to Okafor. Brown jets into the front court, has that one tipped away and stolen by Alonzo. 2-on-2 the other way. Lewis hooks a pass to Hankerson. Passes on the 3. Down low. Watterson. A quick dribble, and he has it dug out and stolen. Boy, Watterson probably should have gone right up there. Brown working on Hankerson. Left-handed scoop is good. Oh, Brown with the finish.
He's relentless nonetheless. He drove the lane about 3 times and didn't get a call and keeps finishing.
Terrific body control on the finish. Lewis with the hook pass. Watterson. Whistle comes in, and it's a charge. And Watterson really starting to struggle now. We'll see if he gets replaced in the lineup. And indeed, here comes LeCount. The winner of this game advances to a second-round matchup with East LA. East LA, the winners of the South Coast North Conference. well, they finished in a tie with Mount San Antonio College, who finished on fire. Maybe the only team in Southern California as hot as the Falcons are the Mounties. Payne tries to drop one down low to Washington. That's a turnover. It's an incredibly deep portion of the draw here. East LA has been outstanding all season. They await the winner of this matchup. And as if that's not bad enough, up top, you got Saddleback College, the #1 team in Southern California. So this half of the draw, very, very tough, starting with these two teams right here.
It's an uphill battle.
Lewis on the drive, has it dug out, but the Pirates will keep it, and it's Brown who will bring it in baseline right.
But I do know just from hanging around the players as of late, and of course after the East LA game, they're trying not to look past Ventura, but Saturday night a matchup with East LA would be just what the doctor ordered for them.
Yeah, they want the redemption. Why not? Lewis to Brown. Brown contested three. That's short. LeCount tries to keep it alive, but Brown skies for the board. Ahead to Washington. Washington on the drive. Puts up the runner. Can't get it to go. Brown fouled by Payne. So Payne picks up the personal. That's just the third team foul with 7:48 remaining here in the opening half. So to your point that they're letting them play. Not going to see many free throws at this pace. And here I got the free throw percentage averages in front of me too. It's, you know, just some extra work that, you know, we'll see. Elijah Brown between the circles. He's checked by Nebo.
And they're doing a great job on Elijah Brown in the early going.
Yeah, no points. The runner from Lewis is no good, but a whistle comes in and a foul call. That's going to go against Nebo.
And let's hope it's not a switch for Cerritos, because Cerritos has been known to give up big points to the opposing team's star players in the first half and shut them down in the second half. So just because Elijah's quiet this first half doesn't mean he won't be in the second.
Yeah, is it going to be a reverse here of what you typically see? But yeah, you can't do a whole lot better than no points. And right now, that's a very daunting sign for the Pirates as they look up at an 8-point deficit. Meanwhile, Lewis misses the first free throw. He comes in shooting 55% on the season. See, I knew I'd get it in there. Second one is up and good. So 1 out of 2. The Falcons have a 7-point lead. Well, this is an extension in many ways of the meeting back on November 19th, where the Pirates got out to the quick lead, but it was the Falcons who ground them down and ended up winning the game by 8, and they have picked up right where they left off here with a 7-point lead, so it's up to the Pirates to see if they can adjust. Meanwhile, a turnover on Nebo gives it back to Ventura.
Which has been unlike Cerritos basketball in the past couple of weeks. They've been very limited in their turnovers. It has to be troubling for Russ May to see it this many turnovers this early.
Brown at the controls. Guarded by Nebo. Lewis. Checked by Washington around a LeCount screen. Picked up on a double team. Brown. Dancing. Into the lane. Double pump up on the glass. No good, but a foul called, and Brown will head to the line looking for his first points of the night. You saw the graphic moments ago on Elijah Brown. This is a guy who's gone for 25 or more 6 times since conference play began. So he is getting better as the season goes on. Went for 43 in a game earlier during the conference season, in case there's any doubt about what he can do. But so far, I think it's the length that the Falcons bring to the table with guys like Nebo, Kyle Gear, maybe a Khalid Washington, and the way they can rotate different guys on him. It'll be interesting to see as this game progresses how many different looks they want to give him.
And that's one of the things that that Coach May has been saying pretty much all during conference play, that it doesn't really matter which group he sends out there, because he has a group where you can honestly say every guy on the team is versatile.
Lob pass down low. Gear in a crowd. Finds Medeiros. Baseline J is good. Medeiros hits the 10-footer. Falcons back to a 7-point lead. Hard drive by Lewis in among the trees. Kicks it back out. And the 3 is up and good, and that's Lewis. It was Jalen Wilson on the drive finding Jamal Lewis. So the 3 cuts it to a 4-point lead, so the Pirates are hanging around.
And that's one thing that you said about Ventura. They have the ultimate equalizer with that three-point shot. No lead seems too big.
Not quite as many as, well, I shouldn't say that. They are attempting quite a few. Brown dancing on the dribble, floats in and lays it in. A great stutter step by Jonathan Brown. Back to a 6-point lead. Here's Elijah Brown. Now he's guarded by Washington. In the corner, three-pointer, high archer won't go. Rebound snapped down by Medeiros. Brown quickly into the front court. A stutter step to the glass, and he lays it in. Jonathan Brown in transition. Good luck.
One of the most aggressive that I've seen him all season.
Well, Brown just worked on Wilson there, and Wilson had no chance. The 8-point lead matches the largest of the first half for Cerritos. Brown now checked by Okafor. Finds an open man. That three is good. Jamal Lewis, back-to-back threes for Lewis.
Ventura has found out that if they have a dribble drive, that Cerritos perimeter players helps, and they're finding their openings.
And to his credit, Elijah Brown averages over 4 assists a game. So he's a guy who can score, but he knows how to give it up when that's the right play. Okafor spinning baseline, and a whistle comes in, a foul on LeCount. 4:55 remaining here in the opening half. Jonathan Brown will bring it in, baseline left. The Falcons in gray. The visiting Pirates in black.
Excuse me.
Okafor finds Washington. Fresh shot clock. Medeiros fakes, drives, left-handed scoop, missed. Rebound to Watson. Watson's followed. That's short. Rebound fought for. Okafor has it stripped on the way up. It'll belong to Cerritos. Washington will bring it in. Foul line extended right. Shot clock at 26. Medeiros on the curl, spins back left, puts up the leaner and scores. Boy, the athleticism really leaps out. You got Brown, you got Medeiros, and then you got the front court. Guys like Nebo and Okafor, gear. Russ May with a long bench indeed. Brown working his way through traffic, and he's fouled as he forces one up. That should send him to the line, so Elijah Brown will get free throws. Meanwhile, that's the 6th team foul on the Falcons.
And I noticed you keep mentioning Nebo's length. Nebo is listed as a 6'6" guard, so I mean it's just a testament to the way he plays the game and how his length is on the perimeter and how it does frustrate most teams.
Of course he is, because if he played in the NBA, he would be a 6'6" guard.
Exactly.
But I think at this level he qualifies as the in the front court. But
of course.
Yeah, it's the versatility that really impresses me about the Falcons. And that's a little bit about what Russ May was talking about when we spoke earlier in the week, talking about how these guys, part of turning the corner was that they were willing to accept their roles, find different ways to help the team, not focus so much on their minutes or on their shots. And you can really see that when they go to the guy with the best matchup, that's when they really have an advantage. Meanwhile, Okafor forces one up, and he scores.
And that's a great point that you mentioned, because I know you mentioned Jay Merriweather earlier. Somebody who was counted on as a starter and a scorer last season isn't that this season, and he has no problem with it.
Brown strips it away from LeCount. It's out of bounds. The Pirates will keep it. So it'll be Wilson who will bring it in. Baseline left. Lewis looking for Brown, who has it in the corner. Washington on him. Brown starts a drive. Okafor cheats over. Lewis right of the lane. Whistle before the shot. And they're going to catch Okafor. That's a tough matchup for Okafor. You can talk about the speed and athleticism, but Jamal Lewis awfully quick. And Okafor really forced to use his hands a little too much on defense there. Picks up the foul. Meanwhile, it'll be a 1-and-1. It was before the shot, but it's the 7th team foul.
That was a quiet 17 fouls.
So the first free throw is up and good. One more coming for Lewis. Well, it was Hankerson who hit a couple of shots to keep the Pirates around. And now it's Jamal Lewis in and out. Getting hot, 7 points here. Keeping the Pirates around in the latter stages of this first half. 3:25 and counting remaining in the opening half. Brown around a Watson screen. Good help from Lewis, and he's got the steal. Lewis in, one-on-one. Forces up the shot. It won't go. No foul called in Washington. Getting back for the board for Cerritos. Brown jets into the front court all the way to the glass, and a foul called. Should go against Elijah Brown, bodying him. And that's just the nightmare of guarding Jonathan Brown. And you're exactly right in the scouting report. He's just relentless. Goes in one-on-one, and he will never stop. And after a while, I think there has to be a measure of fatigue, both mentally and physically. Trying to keep up. Gear with the turnaround, double pump off the glass, won't go. Rebound on the floor, and Lewis corrals it.
The Falcon post players are really starting to force the issue down low.
Wilson. Three-pointer from the corner, no good, but the offensive rebound to Elijah Brown. Little scoop shot is good. So Brown finding a way. I believe that's his first field goal.
I was just getting ready to ask that.
So Brown in the scorebook with a field goal. Meanwhile, it's a 4-point game, and very quietly, the Pirates are finding a way to hang around. Medeiros will try from long range and hit. So Medeiros, every time the Pirates start to make a little push, someone comes up big. For Cerritos, that time it's Medeiros with the triple. It's a 7-point game. Hankerson wide open. Too strong. Washington with a board. An awful lot of one and done for Ventura. Washington glides to the glass. He lays it in.
That's 22 points in the paint for Cerritos in the early going.
And I think by any standard, it's too many.
Not at all.
Maybe not for Cerritos. I suppose it's all perspective. Elijah Brown working left, guarded by Brown. Stops and pops from 16, rimming no good. Medeiros with the board, another one and done. Here comes Jonathan Brown. Curls around a Watson screen. He has LeCount in the switch. 17-footer is short. Wilson snaps down the board. Lewis all the way to the glass. Right-handed layup, missed it, foul called. 1:16 remaining in the opening half. Boy, you got to have the feeling that Lewis would love to have that shot back. Just a little contact on the hand. So Lewis heading to the line. A couple of big threes earlier in the half. And we'll hope to check some scores. Elsewhere in the 3C2A tournament, it's opening round action all over Southern California. Meanwhile, Lewis misses the first free throw, and Lewis comes in shooting 55% from the line. When you're trailing by 9, can't afford to give away any points. Meanwhile, I have to imagine that the pace is very much to the Falcons' liking here, judging by the score. We're at 33-24, and that's right where I think the Falcons want it.
To your point, too, about Lewis being a 55% free throw shooter, I asked Coach when right before the team had played East LA, and I asked him, did he ever consider putting another team on the line if they were bad free throw shooters? And he said no, because we're not very good free throw shooters either. So
doesn't want to give any ideas.
Of course. So it's something that right now it seems to be hurting Ventura, but it could hurt Cerritos as well.
Well, we had a look before the game at the final few minutes and the overtime of the thrilling victory at Long Beach, where the Falcons made a most improbable comeback in the final minute and ended up winning the game in overtime. That was back on February 5th. Turnaround from Watson won't go. Offensive rebound to Medeiros. Turnaround shot from Medeiros is good. And in that game, the Falcons took full advantage of a number of missed free throws from the Vikings down the stretch, and you see it time and again.
8 missed free throws in the last minute and 24 seconds.
Wilson with the hard drive, double pump, won't go. He's fouled hard, and they'll help him to his feet. Wilson heading to the line, 35.6 remaining in the opening half. The Falcons enjoying their largest lead of the night so far. They're up 10, 35-25. Interestingly, both teams scoring up over 80 points a game in conference play, which is surprising for the Falcons, who still find themselves among the leaders in field goal percentage allowed and points allowed in all of California. So, I think it just shows the success that they're having. I think they're scoring over 80 a game and still holding people pretty good.
And I think it's a testament to what you said earlier as far as the pace. Cerritos likes an up-tempo pace, and I think that's why they are able to score over 80 points, but at the same time limit a lot of other teams' second chance points.
Yeah, and they've done a fantastic job here. We'll hope to have some halftime stats for you as we're just under 30 seconds away from the opening break. It's been a quick first half. Not a whole lot of whistles. I'm not sure the Falcons have even attempted a free throw. It's been very few.
I don't recall one.
Brown leans over the dribble. No shot clock at 13 seconds remaining in the half. Starts a drive on Hankerson. Spins back baseline. Tries the double pump. Has it stripped. Lewis gets it ahead to Wilson. Wilson jets into the front court. Finds Hankerson. He shoots from 17. That's no good. And we will head to halftime with Cerritos leading Ventura 35-26. It's opening round action in the 3C2A men's basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And we welcome you back to the aviary on the campus of Cerritos College for opening round coverage of the 3C2A Men's Basketball Championship. Jeff Stoynoff back with you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Pleased to welcome Terrell Emerson, sports editor, I should say, here at Cerritos College. And Terrell, I think it's shades of what we talked about several minutes ago, but it's continues to be exactly where the Falcons want to be right now as they lead this one by 9, and we will head into the second half. And it's the Pirates who will bring it in. They'll switch ends, so the Pirates in the black uniforms will work from right to left. Here in the second half, Elijah Brown had 6 points in the opening half on 1 of 6 shooting, so definitely a struggle. Has it between the circles. Nebo back on him. Stephen Bush, who got the start but played just a few minutes in the first half, off to Jalen Wilson. You're looking for a hero for the Pirates early in this game in the first half. Look no further than Jamal Lewis, who's back out on the floor. He led all scorers with 14 points in the first half for the Pirates. A whistle on the drive. And they're going to give Wilson free throws. 14 points for Jamal Lewis, 6 points for Elijah Brown, 5 for Cordell Hankerson. And that's 25 of the 26 points right there. Meanwhile, Wilson misses the free throw, and the Pirates are now 9 of 15 from the line, so they continue to hurt themselves here at the line.
Cerritos hasn't had a chance to hurt themselves. It has yet to attempt a free throw attempt.
Yeah, there's a weird stat for you. 1 out of 2, and I feel like I've said that before. 35-27. It's an 8-point lead. Jonathan Brown, who came off the bench.
One thing that I don't think we touched on in the first half was I believe it was Monday. Russ May was actually named South Coast Conference Coach of the Year. And I was doing my digging, and I found out in his 7 years as Cerritos head coach, he has 4 conference titles.
Yeah, it's up there as well. Well, you had to do a little more digging. I see a couple. The last one I want to say in 2013. Is that
Yes,
right?
Sir.
So, yeah, Coach Russ May in his 7th season as Watson hits the first free throw. It's a terrific entry pass, freeing up Watson. Get the information on Russ May in his 7th season. You see the terrific record, especially here in 2015-2016, 8-0 in the conference. Meanwhile, 1 out of 2 for Watson. It's a 9-point game. And the pass from Wilson, too strong. It looked like Lewis just took his eyes off it. Goes back to the Falcons. We're in the opening minute of the second half, 36-27. Well, it's interesting that Coach Russ May, you bring up the Coach of the Year, and when we talked to him about how he felt like this team was doing and what he felt like the chances were moving forward, he thought that the team was coming together so nicely that he thought at this time of year it was important that he not overcoach.
Absolutely. And that's interesting that you say that because, of course, just watching them, it was a couple of instances, conference play and non-conference play, where at halftime he would spend, out of the 15 minutes, he would spend 8 of them outside the locker room, letting the team talk amongst themselves. And then the last 2 minutes, he would go in, express his opinion, and then the team would come out for the last 5 minutes of halftime. But that's pretty different to see a head coach take that back seat and let the team drive.
Both teams miss on 3-point opportunities. Wilson fans it out to Bush. His 3 is good. Well, Bush is a sharpshooter, to be sure, for Ventura. He comes in hitting 40% from long range, and that's attempting 6.5 trays a ball game. So if they can find a way to get Bush going, they can get back into this game very quickly. Meanwhile, it's just a 6-point game as it stands. Medeiros right wing. Finds Brown. Around a gear screen. Brown working on Wilson. Shoots from 17. Off the iron. Long rebound to Lewis. Lewis quickly into the front court. Leaves it for Brown. Across to Wilson. Passes on the 3. Left elbow jumper too strong. Gear snatches down the board. So Brown off to Medeiros in the weave. Falcons going to slow it down now. Nebo, line drive 3, and he buries it. So Nebo with his first triple, and he's not shy about shooting from long range.
Absolutely not. And I mentioned that to him earlier throughout the season. There were games where he would go 1 for 7, 1 for 6, even 0 for 4 at times. And he said that he is not going to stop putting up three-pointers. He said eventually they're going to fall.
You have to have the shooter's mentality, I guess, and he is the leading scorer for the Falcons.
Absolutely.
LeCount missed on a follow. Medeiros interior pass, and it's stolen by Lewis. Lewis with numbers finds Bush. Bush will fire. Too strong. LeCount corrals the rebound. Lewis finds Brown. He's wide open. Shoots from 3 and hits. Elijah Brown, his first 3. Answers the 3 by Nebo. It's back to a 6-point game, 39-33. 16-21 remaining in the ballgame. Well, the Falcons have to like where they are, but they also have to be a little concerned they can't seem to shake these guys. Watson's hammered on the way up. I think it was LeCount making that foul count. So Watson heading to the line.
First free throw attempts.
Where he shoots 41%. He's 1 of 2 on the night. Watson played 10 minutes in the first half. 2 points, 2 rebounds. I thought he went to the line. Of course, how could he have when the Falcons didn't attempt a free throw in the first half? Meanwhile, Watson does connect on the first free throw attempt.
So far, so good, 100%.
Shoots 41% from the line, but that didn't look like too bad of a stroke. That one's a little strong. Watson quickly off the line, and they're going to say he's into the lane too early. So 1 out of 2, 40-33. I have kind of a legendary ability for jinxing guys at the line, so just letting you know that.
As long as they don't know, they'll be fine.
It's a good thing they don't. I'd never be invited back. Elijah Brown angles left, finds Lewis. Lewis spinning into the lane. Terrific defense by Washington. Chris Thompson into the lineup for the Pirates. Sets a screen for Brown. Brown, contested 3, partially blocked. Thompson with the lay-in. Chris Thompson in the right place at the right time. The offensive rebound and putback. 5-point game. And at what point do the Pirates possibly turn this into a run and get themselves fully back? Thus far, the Falcons have been able to answer every time. Washington on the baseline. Terrific feed to Gear. What a job by Khalid Washington. And I'd be interested to know, now you've seen this team all year, Washington, just in the short time, 3 games that we've covered, the Falcons this season, he seems to be growing into his game. Can you talk about, is there a difference between this guy at the start of the season and where he is now? Because he seems completely at ease right now, and he's playing phenomenal basketball.
It's overstated at times, but I think that you can definitely tell that he was a transfer, and he's becoming more acclimated with the offense and with the team. And over the season, a lot of the teammates have been getting on him, not in a negative way, but telling him to trust himself and take those shots. And I believe that confidence is everything for him.
Well, he's got to be brimming right now. 2-on-1, back to Medeiros, lays it in. The pressure defense creates the turnover. The fast break the other way. And as we have said seemingly all night, every time the Pirates start to make a run, here come the Falcons. A quick 4 in a row. It's back to a 9-point cushion. Brown spinning back to his right, shoots the fadeaway. That's pretty. Elijah Brown starting to heat up. He had just 6 in the first half, but I know he has 5 more here in the second half, so he's into double digits. 44-37. 14-14 and counting. Gear from the elbow, drops it for Nebo. Working on Thompson, shoots the fadeaway. That's good. Nebo comes in averaging just over 11 a game, and he looked pretty good there, working in the low post on Chris Thompson. Brown circles around a Thompson screen. He's got Gear in the switch. Into a crowd, loses the handle, it's out of play. The turnover will give it back to Cerritos.
And I think that's one thing that that Russ May has found in his team, 6 players average over 7.6 points or higher. So there could be a different leading scorer if any given night for this team.
Yeah, even in the games that we've seen. And this is a team you go back to losing Dylan Rice earlier in the season as well, and that's a guy who was, I believe, their leading scorer at the time, maybe in the top 2 with Nebo. But it's got they lost, and of course the Pirates lost Dwayne Merle earlier in the season as well. So it's seemingly every team. You're probably going to lose somebody throughout the season. Most teams you have to deal with that, but it just goes that was yet another option that maybe the Falcons would have had. As it stands, the guys are stepping in and stepping up more than adequately here as they lead it by 9 in our opening round coverage of the 3C2A men's basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Cerritos will work at the length of the floor with a 9-point lead. 13:51 remaining in the ballgame. Brown and Medeiros in the backcourt. Gear along with Nebo and Washington up front. Washington now at the controls. 2-3 zone for the Pirates. Washington finds Nebo. Thought about a 3 on Lewis. Now he'll take it. Rimming no good. Rebound tapped out. Back to Brown. It's another opportunity for the Falcons. Can they take advantage of a second chance here with a 9-point lead? Brown working around a gear screen. Off to Washington. Washington working on Garcia, who's checked in. Shoots the fadeaway, missed everything. Lewis into the front court for Ventura. Starts a drive on Medeiros. Garcia to Thompson at the free throw line. This is Bush. Shot clock down to 15. Elijah Brown holds wide left. Around a Thompson screen. Splits a double team to the glass. Left-handed scoop. Won't go. Medeiros high up for the board. Nebo jets in around Thompson. Blocked by Bush. Thompson has the board. Nebo wanted a call. He didn't get it on a terrific block by Bush. Brown loses the handle once again, out of play. So back-to-back turnovers by Elijah Brown, who was finding it tough sledding, working against this Falcon defense. You go back to the previous meeting, and Brown didn't fare a whole lot better. Back on November 19th, he did end up with 20 points in that game. 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Shot 8 of 13, so he was able to connect a little more often, but you get the feeling that he was having a difficult time finding his spots against the Falcons. And here tonight, interestingly, maybe he's starting to force the action a little bit too, feeling like he needs to do a little bit more. Floater off the glass by Medeiros is good. A quick 6-0 run. It's back to an 11-point lead. Hankerson buries the tray. So Hankerson, who had a big 5 points early for the Pirates, helping them to hang around, hits another clutch 3. That one keeps Ventura in the game. They trail it by 8 with 11:41 remaining. Nebo on the catch. He'll hit the 3. Nebo with the big answer. What's that? Okay, I believe that was Medeiros on the 3. I want to get that right. Either way, a big 3. The scoop by Jackson. Sent out of bounds. Well, I thought there was a little too much arc on that 3. So I believe it's Medeiros who connects. Meanwhile, Gear with something to say as his teammates trying to calm him down. Wilson had the scoop shot blocked out of play. Shot clock's at 17, so I'm not sure what Gear is upset about.
I think it's a little jaw jacking on the court.
As he's looking over toward the Falcon bench. So Wilson will trigger it in baseline left. Out to Thompson, and Thompson's getting a long run here in the second half with LeCount and Watterson on the bench. Up front, Hankerson checked by Merriweather. Thompson faces up. He'll fire from 14 and score. Boy, what a bonus it would be if they could get a little offense from Chris Thompson. Comes in averaging 2.6 points per game, but connects there. 51-42. Washington with a hard drive on Wilson, and Wilson bodied him. Oh, it's a tough matchup for Jalen Wilson when Washington, who's got a good 6 inches on him, also seems to have the quicks to get him a little bit out of position on a drive. How do you like matching up there? Merriweather up top. 10:43 and counting. Remaining in the ball game, the Falcons with a 9-point lead. The winner advances to the second round and a date with East LA, the 4 seed in the South. Washington fakes, picks it up right of the lane, double pump, back iron, no good. Thompson clears away the board. Chris Thompson giving the Pirates a big lift, particularly in the rebounding department. Lewis with a little stutter step. Good defense by Merriweather as the out-of-control shot from Lewis missed everything. Medeiros into the front court, stops and pops from 10 feet and scores. Boy, Medeiros has nice touch on those little jumpers. Lewis evades the steal attempt from Payne. Jacob Alonso has returned for Ventura. Pirates trailing it by 11. Wilson crosses over on Washington, and Washington fouled him out front, a non-shooting foul. Here comes Okafor to the scorer's table for Cerritos. Elijah Brown, after a short stint on the bench, will return. Again, we're halfway through the second half. Cerritos with only 2 team fouls, and Ventura with just 3. So again, they continue to let him play.
Much to the dismay of a lot of the players.
You'd think they would like it, but everybody wants a foul called. Brown fans it out to Wilson. Hankerson open for 3, passes, now puts up the teardrop. That won't go. Payne with the long rebound. Off to Washington. Washington picked up by Thompson. The pass back out is out of play. So Washington, perhaps a little out of control, turns it over. 9:23 remaining in the ballgame. Remind everybody, 4 games going on in the South region here on opening night of the CCCAA men's basketball tournament. You can check the CCCAA site for updated scores. Wilson's drive missed. Medeiros with the rebound. Alonso on him. Pirates picking up the pressure. Payne passes on the 3. Now Merriweather will shoot. High arcer is short. Long rebound to Alonso. Alonso into the front court. Picked up by Medeiros. Wilson off to Brown in the weave. Okafor on Brown. Drives it to the glass, hanging in the air, and he scores.
Nice touch.
Elijah Brown. Getting close to Jamal Lewis, I would say, for the leading scorer in the game for Ventura. Our stats are unofficial. We don't have the live stats tonight. I have Brown with 13. Payne with the long triple, won't go. Elijah Brown with the board. Brown all the way to the glass. Fans it out to Hankerson. Hankerson passes on the 3. Brown drives at baseline. Met by Okafor. Hankerson again passes on the 3. He'll shoot from 16. That's good. So Hankerson seems somewhat reticent to take the 3. It's about 3 or 4 fakes in a row, but he looked pretty good there, hitting the shot from about 16 feet. Washington, 3-pointer, too strong. Okafor had the board. It was tipped away, but Washington in the right spot. 7:40 and counting. A mini run by Ventura has cut an 11-point deficit to 7. Washington on the curl. The ball's on the floor. The Pirates have it. Nearly tied up, and now a timeout taken by Ventura. I thought they were pointing to Cerritos for the timeout there, but I was going to be impressed how they could take a timeout without the ball. I'm always one to learn new rules. 7:29 remaining, a timeout on the floor here at the Aviary. It's the 3C2A men's basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Back at Cerritos College. And a 7-point lead for Cerritos. The Pirates will work it the length of the court as the Falcons show a little pressure. Brown around a Hankerson screen, has Merriweather in a switch, finds Alonso wide open for three, rimming no good. The Pirates crashing the glass. Hankerson's follow is no good. Kept alive by Elijah Brown and a foul called. And I'm going to guess by the reaction on the floor that it's going against Cerritos.
Tyler Payne is about 3/4 down the other end of the floor.
So the Pirates stepping up their assault on the offensive glass. This is a team that shot 6 of 37 from long range in the first meeting between these two teams, and they've been marginally better tonight. I think they're starting to realize they may not be able to knock down as many shots against this Falcon defense, among the best in the state. Under 7 minutes to go in the ball game. Elijah Brown holding on Nebo, the shot clock at 12. Brown, a stutter step, off to Hankerson. Starts to move on Washington. Working down low into a crowd, fans it out. Three-pointer from Bush is too strong. The rebound on the floor. Alonso had his hands on it. It'll be a shot clock violation going back to Cerritos.
Aside from the initial 3 minutes, Cerritos has not gone back to its original starting lineup.
Yeah, well, they had Marquis Scott in the lineup, and that's, I think, he gets a few minutes at the start. Well, I need Mike Cepeda here. I have an unbelievable 80s reference, but that always arrives a few days too late. But Scott in the starting lineup, and then after that, it's more of Washington and Brown and some of the other guys, I think, who see more time. Obviously, you would know better as the game progresses. And here is Brown with a little move. The scoop shot in and out, won't go. Rebound tipped up, no good. And the rebound controlled by Elijah Brown. Man. Jonathan Brown had a great look, and that ball was 3/4 of the way down and out. Then Gear had a pretty good look. The Falcons come up empty, but they're able to tie it up and get it back on possession. And we welcome you back to the aviary. Momentarily lost signal. So Gear heading to the line, and he hits the first free throw. Ready's the second free throw. That's too strong. So Gear goes 1 of 2. Alonso has the long rebound. Meanwhile, Nebo was sent sprawling. No call. And the Falcons have an 8-point lead with 5:57 remaining here in the ballgame. Wilson around a Brown screen. Baseline drive. Finds Hankerson. His three, too strong. Washington had the rebound. Now corrals it. Good look for Hankerson. Got a little too much air. And now the Falcons will start to work the clock with 5:30 remaining. The shot clock down to 13. Washington trying to enter it down low. Quick double team. Interior pass. Double pump. Will not go. So Gear with a great cut off the ball. So Gear back to the line. Let's update one score. Miracosta on top of Glendale. 51-41 there in the second half. The winner of that game gets Saddleback. Hard to say who the winner is. First one from Gear is up and good.
It's a tough draw.
One other score to report, Citrus at Palomar. They're in the first half. And the Owls on top of Palomar 33-18. So Citrus off to a fast start, working in the bottom half of the draw. Gear hits on both free throws. Back to a 10-point lead. Wilson finds Hankerson, quick pass. Elijah Brown spins out. Hankerson passing on the three. Left-handed scoop, won't go. Rebound fought for and controlled by Washington. (56-46), under 5 minutes to go. Well, obviously, one need not worry about the Falcons getting overconfident with a lead here late in the ball game after the victory against Long Beach earlier in the season. Gear all the way to the glass, and he lays it in. So Gear with 5 in a row.
This team understands the importance of finishing games, especially being on both ends, which, like you said, with the Long Beach City victory in overtime. But that loss, I can't even stress it enough. That loss against East LA is what has motivated this team in the latter half of the season.
Elijah Brown, meanwhile, on the runner, is fouled. So I believe that was on the shot, but no, they're going to say baseline right before the shot. Not exactly giving Elijah Brown the 1980s continuation, I think, on that one. He's not getting the Magic Johnson treatment. So
I don't
Wilson,
think anybody is tonight.
Jamal Lewis has checked back in, off to Alonzo. Wilson, quick feed inside Thompson's half hook, rims out. Washington snaps down the board.
Ventura just can't seem to get a bucket down.
I have had a couple of looks from point blank. And the Falcons with an opportunity here to extend on a 12-point lead. Boy, they could hit a triple right about here. Might go a long way toward putting this one away. Washington from 18 feet won't go. Nebo had the board, but is tipped out of play by Elijah Brown. It will belong to Cerritos. Under 4 minutes to go. A whistle off the ball as Brown was looking to bring it in. So Jamal Lewis picks up his second personal. And Lewis is talking to Nebo. Nebo has it on the quick entry, missed the layup. Good contest there by Jamal Lewis getting back. Elijah Brown is fouled by Jonathan Brown as Nebo was back, still down after a lot of contact on his layup attempt. So Nebo back to the action. And meanwhile, Alonzo will bring it in at the half-court line, and a timeout taken. We'll see if this is a 30. And it will be a 30-second timeout. We'll step aside very briefly. You're watching the 3C2A men's basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. .12-point lead for Cerritos. Here with 3:43 remaining in the game. First round action, and the winner advances to a matchup with East LA this weekend. Elijah Brown dancing to his left. Scoop shot, good and one. I'll tell you what, I believe that's the first and one we've seen in this entire game on either side. Now, that's what happens. That's what happens when not a lot of fouls are being called, but Elijah Brown comes in averaging up over 20 a game.
even still, this is the last thing Cerritos wants to see is for Brown to get his juices flowing and rally his team to a win.
Yeah, 3:34 remaining. Brown short on the free throw going back to the first half. And Elijah Brown did hit all 4 of his free throw attempts, but that's a big miss there. Meanwhile, the ball's tipped out of play, and it will stay with Ventura. So an opportunity with 3:34 remaining to cut into this 10-point deficit. It'll be Alonso who will bring it in baseline left. Wilson out to Elijah Brown. Brown starting to get it going in the second half. Fires from 3. Good contest by Gear, and he missed. So Jonathan Brown with the long rebound into the front court. And now he'll signal for the play. Brown gets a back screen from Gear. Alonso still with it. Lob pass looking for Nebo. Terrific defense. Wilson has the steal. He's fouled in the backcourt by Nebo.
That's a frustration foul.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there with a 10-point lead. Why do you want to stop the clock and pick up another foul? And at this point, and it's going to be free throws. It's a 1-and-1 for Jalen Wilson. Wilson comes in shooting 77% from the line, averaging just under 7 points a game.
And one made free throw brings it down to inside single digits.
So here comes Wilson. Front end. Shots in the air, and it's good. Wilson pure on the first. You get a look at Wilson. Leading assist man for the Pirates as well. Up at 4.3 a game. Second free throw, that's pure. So Wilson connects on a pair of free throws. So that's 4 the hard way. Took a couple of possessions, but they got it. Gear fouled by Jamal Lewis. That's the 7th team foul on Ventura. So now Gear heads back to the line. He's already attempted 4 free throws here in this second half. Gear comes in, shoots 52% from the line. So both teams in the bonus with 2:54 remaining. Gear's first free throw, back iron, and it's LeCount who has returned, who has the board. Quickly the other way, Lewis splits a double team, reverse layup is good. Jamal Lewis has been quiet in the second half. That ball nearly thrown away by Gear, a nice save by Nebo. Was also heading over this way. Jonathan Brown bumped well outside. That was a foul for Jalen Wilson, so Brown will head to the line for a 1-and-1. Just saw Gear miss on the front end. That's the 8th team foul. And Jonathan Brown heading to the line where he shoots 67%. Brown's free throw is good. That's a big free throw. Back out to 7 here with 2:33 remaining. Brown's second free throw rims in. So good touch. Jonathan Brown converts on a pair of free throws. 60-52. Cerritos leads it by 8. Elijah Brown between the rings. A crossover on Nebo. A double team from Gear. Back to Jalen Wilson. Wilson will fire from 3. Rimming no good. LeCount has the offensive rebound, but did he push off? And they're going to say he did. So LeCount picks up the offensive foul on the rebound. He can't believe it. But Trevor LeCount with the foul, and the Falcons will have it back. That goes down as a team foul, so we're heading back to the line for more free throws. Well, the free throws that we lacked in the first half, we're making up for it here in the second half. So this will be Medeiros heading to the line. Medeiros comes in averaging 10.8 points per game, 76% from the line. The 10.8, that's second on the team in scoring. And Medeiros having a solid outing here in this ball game.
And I believe he scored in double figures in all of the conference games leading up to the playoffs.
So the Falcons begin to extend on the lead. 1 point at a time here from the charity stripe. That's 3 in a row. One more for Medeiros. That's good. 4 straight free throws, and it's back out to double digits, a 10-point lead for the Falcons. Can the Pirates get over the hump? They have trailed pretty much from the outset. In fact, I believe Ventura's only lead in this game was 1-0. Alonzo's 3 is in and out. Rebound to Medeiros. Be interesting to see, but I believe it was 1-0. That's the only time they led. Might have led 5-4. In any event, it has not been since the very early going that the Pirates had any kind of a lead. In this one, the Falcons have maintained the lead throughout, and they lead it by 10 now with under 2 minutes to go. Medeiros circles left, drives to the glass, left-handed scoop won't go. Nebo flying in, had the board, and a whistle comes in as LeCount and Nebo are tied up. Meanwhile, Medeiros, I think, can't believe he didn't get a call. So LeCount gets the foul as Nebo crashes the offensive glass. And it's the leading scorer for Cerritos, Brian Nebo, who will head to the line where he shoots 38%.
I told you, Russ said they weren't a good free throw shooting team.
And that one not too close for Brian Nebo. Barely drew iron. Nonetheless, with 98 seconds left in a 10-point lead. These aren't quite pressure-filled free throws, though. Certainly, you don't want to continue to give anybody multiple opportunities. Meanwhile, Nebo comes up empty on 2 free throws. Lewis quickly back the other way, all the way to the glass. Scoop shot, rimming, no good. Washington with the board. Lewis, I think, just had a little too much momentum. Brown, meanwhile, fouled in the backcourt by Wilson. And now Ventura reduced to fouling to stop the clock with a minute 27 remaining in the ballgame, and the Falcons with a 10-point lead. You know, you go back to November 19th, and the final score was 66-58. And seldom will you see history repeat itself any more perfectly than this here, because we are heading to almost an identical score. With it 62-52, Brown, meanwhile, misses the free throw, so it's starting to catch here for the Falcons. 3 straight missed free throws. And again, you can't help but think back to February 5th and what can happen with a minute or so remaining in the ballgame. Brown hits 1 out of 2, 63-52. Elijah Brown dancing on the dribble, working right of the lane. Quickly double team, finds LeCount. LeCount moves right, puts it in off the glass. So LeCount with the deuce, and a quick timeout with a minute 14 remaining. And Cerritos leading by 9. We'll step aside briefly. It's the 3C2A men's basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Well, the stark reality is Coach Joey Ramirez is going to have to draw up something pretty special here with the 74 seconds remaining.
We've seen it done.
And the Pirates, yes, we have. And the Pirates trailing by 9, showing full court pressure, inbounded to Jonathan Brown. Alonzo continues the pressure, and Wilson kicks that one out of play.
It'll be interesting to see how many three-point baskets Ventura puts up. In the November 19th matchup, they attempted 37 and only knocked down 6.
Yeah, in the first half here, they attempted 16 more and only hit 3. So unfortunately for the Pirates, they were on their way to a similar type outing. And I think it's a testament to the defense that the Falcons play. They limit opposing teams to just 30% connect percentage from long range. And they've been even better than that against Ventura. Washington dancing on the dribble. 3 on the shot clock. Long 3 from Payne. That's no good. LeCount high up for the board. Gets it out to Lewis. Lewis with no numbers. Finds Elijah Brown. Shot clock down to 22, and the Pirates have to hurry. Elijah Brown faces up, takes the 3, and hits. So the big 3 for Brown with 29.9. It's a 2-possession game, 63-57. Now, if you're thinking about who you might foul for Cerritos, look no further than Brian Nebo if he's on the floor, shooting just 38% from the line.
And I think Coach May knows that, and I'm pretty sure Nebo won't be on the floor. We'll see.
Medeiros, Payne, both up over 70% on the season, along with Washington. Jay Merriweather shoots 90% from the line. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes small here. Tries to get the best free throw shooters that he can out on the floor for the season. Meanwhile, you have to imagine for the Pirates, not a whole lot of strategy at this point. It's going to be stop the clock and hope.
By all means.
But it is the kind of thing that can happen, and we keep on saying that. See if maybe we can grab some scores for you before we go off the air tonight. Try to update you, but again, you can follow all the scores in the 3C2A men's basketball tournament on the CCCAA site. California Community College Athletic Association. And, of course, let's remind everybody here at SoCal College Sports, we are very excited and terribly proud to be bringing you the Final Four from Las Positas College later in the month. We'll have that for you, men's and women's, March 11th, 12th, and 13th. Foul in the backcourt. Falcons heading to the line, and it looks like Jonathan Brown. For Jalen Wilson, that was his 5th personal. So Wilson will finish his night. And with 26.7, it will be Brown heading back to the line. Brown, I know down the stretch, has hit 3 of 4 here in the second half. Comes in shooting up over 70%. Meanwhile, thinking about the long ball for the Pirates, Stephen Bush hits 40% from long range. Timmy Garcia, who we haven't seen a whole lot of tonight, he had a brief stint in the first half. Also a sharpshooter for this team, but it doesn't seem to matter who we're talking about here. The ability for the Falcons to defend the perimeter has really been the story. Brown's first free throw is pure. So Jonathan Brown moves it back to a 3-possession game, and the Falcons inching closer and closer to a shot at redemption. And East LA, the team they have wanted since a 6-point loss right before conference season. Brown, long 3, that's short. Tapped up and in. So LeCount gets the tip in. 5-point game, still 19.2 remaining on the clock. What takes longer? The final 30 seconds in a game like this where a team is trying to get their opportunity, or the last 2 minutes in a televised NBA game?
Being that I've watched a lot of Cerritos basketball, I'm going to go with the last 30 seconds of a game like this.
Speaking of NBA, Steph Curry.
42 points tonight.
42 points.
That man is unreal.
It's phenomenal. And maybe one of the most fun players to watch I've ever seen, and my favorite player is Michael Jordan, so as a guy who grew up in Chicago, so that was a pretty fun player to watch too. But
of course.
This guy, man, I mean, it is watching him shoot a basketball, it is something special.
It's even more scary to realize that it's a more fun team to watch.
Yeah. Want to see if we could get a couple of more see if we can get a couple of scores. Update you in the second half. Miracosta, a 17-point lead over Glendale. The winner there advances to take on Saddleback.
What a prize.
Yeah. And meanwhile, our last update is Citrus leading Palomar in the first half by 15. Payne gets the inbound pass, and he is fouled by Eddie Cowan, who's checked in. So Payne will head to the line, 2.5 off the clock. It's 16.7 remaining in the game.
And Payne was the leader that we keep referring to that February 5th game against Long Beach City. Tyler Payne scored 16 of the last 20 Cerritos points in that comeback victory.
Payne's first free throw is up and good. Now the big one, if he can push it back out to 3 possessions. Yeah, it was remarkable. We were covering that game, and it was interesting that Payne, one of the better shooters on the team, seemed not too interested in going for his shot. And you had the feeling, as the Falcons were struggling so mightily for about 39 minutes in that ballgame to get anything going offensively, that you'd like to see Payne take shots. And finally, in the last minute, he did it, and with fantastic results as he hit 3 threes in the final minute and into overtime in that incredible comeback win. Brown from 25, rimming no good. LeCount with the offensive board finds Brown. Under a second to go, and that'll do it. Final score 66-59. The Falcons are on to round 2, and a date with East LA College, the last team to beat them 9 games ago. Meanwhile, for the Pirates, they finish an outstanding campaign, 19-10, with the loss here tonight, and they see their 2015-16 season draw to a close with a loss here at Cerritos. We'll step aside, come back, wrap things up from the aviary. It's the 3C2A basketball tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Final score from Cerritos College, 66-59. The Falcons win their 9th in a row, move to 21-9 on the season, and most importantly, advance to round 2 here in the 3C2A men's basketball tournament. And we were so proud to bring it to you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com and remind you once again that we will have the Final Four from Las Positas College that the weekend of March 11th, 12th, and 13th. But we certainly hope to see you for more basketball action before then. But keep it in mind. Want to pass along some very special thanks, first and foremost to Terrell Emerson, sitting in tonight, sports editor here at Cerritos College, and we really enjoyed having Terrell on the broadcast and bringing his insight into Falcon basketball. And our thanks to Terrell for joining us. Also, thanks to John Van Gaston for statistics and help here at the aviary. Of course, Dan Kloss and Will Cowan, athletic directors at Cerritos and Ventura College, respectively, for helping to support the broadcast and to bring this to you. here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Lastly, a special thanks to Matt Henson and all of his help on graphics as well as handling camera work as well. Once again, the final score is 66-59. The Falcons over the Pirates, advancing to round 2. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, I am Jeff Stoynoff. So long, everybody.